What's up everybody? Quittskii here with Hostile Airsoft, and today we're going over XLP Regulator Maintenance. I'm gonna show you how to take it apart, put it back together, and a couple things to look for when you first get your XLP regulator. Let's check it out. The first thing we recommend when you get your XLP regulator is to back out the velocity, and that is done with a 3/32 Allen wrench. Now, you're gonna be doing that on the front side of the regulator right here. Below the gauge, you can see this notch right here. This is where you adjust the velocity. Now, if you screw it clockwise, it's gonna turn the velocity up. But for this first step, we want you to back out the velocity. So we're gonna take the 3/32 Allen wrench, put it right in the groove right here, and screw counterclockwise. Make sure you don't unscrew it all the way so that screw falls out. After you have the screw backed out, then you can throw the XLP regulator onto your tank, hook up your line, put it onto your gun, and then from there you can fine tune the right velocity. Up next, I'm gonna show you how to take apart and put back together your XLP regulator. And that is all done with a 5/64 Allen wrench, and it is super simple. First, we gotta remove the 2 set screws on the front and the back of the XLP regulator. Now all this thing is gonna unscrew. Super simple. Now I like to hold it upside down while I unscrew it. That way nothing really kind of falls out and you don't lose track of anything. But the good news is there's really not that many parts in here for you to lose, and this regulator is super simple to take apart and put back together. So now that I got the lower part off, in here is the stack with everything. I'm just gonna pull this out just like this, and you can just see how simple this regulator is. It's really only a few pieces. First up, we got the main plug right here with the O-ring on it. So if you ever have any leaking or anything like that, be sure to check this O-ring first. Sometimes some dust can get in there and it can separate it, not making a perfect air seal, or if there's wear and tear done to your O-ring, or if it's too dry, this is the first thing you wanna check. So I'm just gonna pull this guy out. Looks really good. I can still feel some lube on it. So it's nice and lubed. So we got the first part of the stack right there. Up next, we have the spring. The spring is just gonna sit right on top of it like this. And then up next, we have the cone. So we have the housing for the cone right here. It's got a groove here for the cone to sit in. So there's only really one way this can go back together, so it looks kind of like that. So when you're putting it back together, make sure that this spacer right here has got the indent in it for the cone. So we're gonna put the cone back in like that, and we're gonna put that in right here. And it's honestly just that simple. After that, you could put this right back in the XLP regulator and screw it back together, and then reset the set screws. So we got that screwed back on like that. Then we can take our set screws, our 5/64 Allen wrench, and we could screw it back together. 99% of the time, if there's any kind of leak or problem with your XLP regulator, it can all be solved within the top portion of the regulator that I just showed you. A lot of the times it could be that O-ring not seated properly, and sometimes something as simple as just taking it apart together and putting it back the proper way will fix a lot of the leaks. And that is how you disassemble and reassemble the top portion of the XLP regulator. Next, I'm gonna show you how to get into the lower portion of the XLP regulator. In this lower portion, you don't need any Allen wrenches. All you need is a pair of round nose needle nose pliers. Now, they have to be small enough in order to fit into the 4 holes that are here on the valve of the XLP regulator. Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your round nose needle nose pliers, and you're just gonna get it into 2 of the holes, and then you're just gonna unscrew. And then once you get it loose enough, the valve should just come right out. There you go. All right, so right here I have the valve, and the valve is made up of 2 different parts. You've got the lower half right here, which is the flat disc part with the 4 holes. And then you have the top part of the valve, which also has 4 holes, and it goes right on top of the lower portion, just like this. And then lastly, there's only one more piece left in the lower portion of the XLP regulator. It is an inner O-ring here that creates the seal between that long piston plug and the lower portion of the XLP regulator. So always want to make sure that you check that, you don't see any wear and tear on it, make sure it's nice and kind of lubed up in there. If you do want to take that O-ring out, you want to do that when the top portion of the XLP regulator is disassembled. That's going to make it a lot easier to get to. You might need like a dental pick or like a really long skinny Allen wrench. This one looks pretty good in here. It looks nice and lubed up, no wear and tear, so we're just going to leave that in there. And then when reassembling the lower portion of the XLP regulator, with the lower valve part, I like to offset the holes here. So if you see the 4 holes on the lower plate right here, and then the top portion of the valve has 4 holes also. I like to put it in like a cross. So the holes on the top are in between the holes on the bottom. So once you have that assembled back, we're gonna put that back into the lower part, and then we're gonna take our pliers and we're gonna screw it back in till it's nice and tight. And that is how you fully disassemble and reassemble the XLP regulator. If you have any further questions, reach out to us on our website at hkarmy.com, or you can send us a DM on Instagram at Hostile Airsoft. This is Quittskii with Hostile Airsoft. Thanks for watching.